A lot of people has this idea that working for a publication, for a magazine, can be very stressful. The deadlines and photo shoots, the production. There's so many elements to make it work and happen. Is that true? Is that as stressful as it looks, or something not that bad?
I think we manage, obviously there are the deadlines and the pressure of like that we put on ourselves actually, because obviously Vogue is such a big name that we want to honor that name as much as we can. But I think we're lucky enough to have really good team where we all get along so much and we can count on each other and support each other on those sometimes stressful times.
Oh, before we start talking more about what you're working on in Vogue and your current position there and all the things, I want to kind of go back in time and talk about your upcoming, your bringing. I mean, you were born in Bordeaux, a
I was
beautiful
born
part
in
of
Bordeaux.
France, and
Yeah.
then now in Paris. Can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing, how that journey from Bordeaux to Paris made it work?
Yeah, absolutely. So, like you said, I was born in Bordeaux. I grew up in Bordeaux, and I think my first introduction to fashion was through pop culture. Like the music videos and the fashion shoots of like my favorite celebrities of the time, like Britney Spears and Madonna, and especially like through the work of photographers like David LaChapelle or Stephen Klein, who I was obsessed with, and they were creating like this strong pop images with those girls, and not only them, like all of the big pop stars of the at the time, and yeah, and then there was Vogue's Karine Roitfeld, and I think the first issue I ever bought was in 2006, and it was an issue with Paris Hilton on the cover by Mario Testino. And I just love the impertinence of Karine to have, and the bold choice to have a real TV star on the cover of Vogue for the first time. And I also very much liked Paris at the time, and then from that moment on, I kept buying Vogue and reading it and being more and more interesting in the collections and the trends. I didn't know what I wanted to do exactly, but I knew I didn't want to close any doors, and I was very interested in fashion and luxury. So I studied communications at the Bordeaux 3 University, but I was very bored during my study. It was very theoretical, and I couldn't wait to move to Paris and get an internship there. And with the help of my friend, my best friend Deborah, I found an internship in this production company that produce fashion shows. I mean, not fashion shows. What's it called? Like fashion broadcasts during Fashion Week for this news channel that's called France 24. That's broadcasted worldwide. And during this internship, I was able to attend my first fashion shows, and that really confirmed my interest to work in fashion and got me so excited.
So
Um,
you knew from early age that eventually you'd have to leave Bordeaux and go to Paris to
Oh
pursue
yeah,
a
for sure,
career in
hundred
fashion.
percent. Like my friends, actually, because I studied in Bordeaux, but like most of my friends were studying in Paris, and I would go and visit them all the time, and we would go out, and I just couldn't wait to leave Bordeaux and move to Paris. It's been like 15 years, I think now.
15 years. And is everything you wanted to be?
I mean, I guess yes. I didn't really have any expectations. I knew that I really wanted to work in the creative industry. I really liked fashion. I really liked, you know, everything that was close, connected to it, and I think yeah, like step by step, I made my way up to the top.
And here we are today.
Not saying that I am at the top, but like I mean, like if you'd asked me 15 years ago, 20 years ago, what I wanted to do, I would have probably answered that. My dream would have been to work at Vogue, and never once in my life I would have even, like think that it could happen.
Yeah, and that's the thing people need to consider as well. I mean, that's very competitive. I mean, it is, Vogue France. So people from all over the country, all over the world wants to work there, wants to have that experience. So it's super competitive. Do you coming in, did you feel that as well? Like, oh my goodness, I mean, like, I'm lucky to be here. I want to really take advantage and learn and capitalize on this opportunity and see how it goes.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, I don't take anything for granted. I think I was, I've been working really hard my whole life. I started working when I was 21 years old, first in PR. I had many different lives. No, I'm 34. But yeah, I don't take anything for granted. I know that I worked a lot to get here, but also, like you said, it's very competitive. And as I was saying earlier, there's also like, like we want to honor the Vogue name. And so we try to be on top of everything and do the best we can and work as hard as we can, but also have a lot of fun while doing it.
I like what you said about I don't take things for granted. And I think that's an
Yeah.
important element I want to explore with you as well. Is that a principle that you acquire from your upbringing, your family, the hard work in you, where that comes from?
Um, I don't know. I think it's always been, I guess, part of who I am. Like I have this work ethic, and not only work actually. Like in everything I do, I want to I want to put like my heart and soul into it. Like I don't want to do something that's half done, or if I'm going to present something that can be anything, like work, uh, if anything personal, even like I'm gonna do everything I can to make sure that I'm satisfied with what I do, and once you set your mind to it, I'm trying to. So obviously, it doesn't always work because. We all has like very very busy lives and schedule, and sometimes I don't have enough time to prepare something or work on something. I'm not even talking about professional stuff, like even personal. But when I do, I'm really trying to do the best I can.
Are you
It's
a
very important to me.
perfectionist?
I am, I guess, yes. I have like this weird this weird habits, like for example, if you come to my house, like everything is perfectly clean, in order, at its place. Yeah, and I guess that's the same in work.
Are
I mean,
you
I'm trying as much as I can.
Are you one of those that somebody comes to your place and as soon as they put a cup without a coaster somewhere or move something out of the place, you kind of secretly start moving around and rearranging things? My wife is like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I have a big shelf with like lots of books and magazines that I collect, and every time someone comes to my house and just like picks up a book from the shelves and like put it down because like everything has has its place. It's just for yeah.
What are the most significant challenges facing the luxury fashion industry today?
But it has to be ecology. 100%. I think being part of the fashion industry, it's one of the most polluting industries in the world. And there's got to be a change, and we all got to take actions. And it comes not only from the big luxury houses and big fashion houses, but also, even like young designers and emerging brands, they're all taking actions now, and us, of course, as a media, we have to educate people, and so that's what we've been doing. We put up a green chart for the first issue of Vogue France about 2 years ago when Eugénie Trochu took over the role of head of editorial content, taking actions in, for example, only using paper from responsibly run forests, or removing the blister plastic that was surrounding the magazine, or maybe like also, I mean, also because of ethics towards the animal cause, but like we don't promote fur or fake fur or exotic skins in the magazine because uh, any products that come from animal, they participate a lot in this polluting industry. And also we've been reducing a lot of travels. So since I think it was about 2 years ago, there's been this new globalization of Condé Nast. So we all get to work together now. We're one team with like different offices all around the world, which is great and super inspiring to get to work with all of the Vogue editors from all over the world. And so the idea of this is also that because we're one team, we don't need to physically attend events at the other side of the world any longer. We can, if there is like a fashion week in the US, Vogue US is going to cover this fashion week for all of us and is going to provide us with the content that we can all use. And we're going to do the same in Paris, and Vogue Italia is going to do the same in Italy. So we try to reduce as much as we can our travels, to reduce obviously the travel footprint. Yeah, I think like those kind of actions, like put together, they do make a change. So yeah, I think all of us, like the whole industry, has to take action, and also us as individuals, obviously through all of the measures that we all know of, but also the way we consume fashion, like investing maybe in pieces that you're gonna keep forever, like by selecting quality pieces, or like secondhand clothes, or reduce your animal product consumption. I think all of those things make a change.
Now, the fact that I believe the magazine has took such a strong stand on this, in this subject is very important, because if there are brands out there that are perhaps not fully on board, but they realize they're not going to get published if they don't meet some requirements in terms be more green and more friendly with the environment, they will force them to do so. We'll really make sure that they take steps to be more proactive in that issue. Now the conversation will go is that because you're the one engaging with a lot of those brands and really seeing
Yeah.
what's going on. Do you feel that the quality of the product is not decreasing, still getting great quality, even though the product is a recyclable or there's a different material? That's not compromising the quality or the integrity of the design overall.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't say so. I think it's different. Like last night there was Natalie Portman and Antoine Arnaud discussing this on stage about this mushroom leather. Obviously it's not. So they're doing like products with this new leather that's made out of mushrooms. Obviously, it's not the same. It just doesn't have the same longevity, I think. So they're working on all of this. Uh, what's it called? All of this innovation to make it as good as the real thing. But other than this is something particular. But other than this, in fashion, you don't. I think upcycled materials don't necessarily like alter the quality of the products. We've seen this as well last night with Kevin Germani's collection, which was very beautiful and very well made. And I think there's in general in fashion there's I would say that luxury brands are trying to focus more and more on the quality of the products now, like going back to savoir-faire, craftsmanship, like what we call quiet luxury. I think it's something that we've really seen coming from the last couple of seasons, and that's going to last for a very long time, because it's also part of the conversation that we're having about having products that live and last longer.
I like that. And it's interesting because sustainability, of course, is a big issue, not only fashion, but in all the industries in the world. This main topic conversation. But I think a close second would be the digitalization revolution when it comes to AI and all the things that are happening right now with VR and all the technology increasing so rapidly, everybody trying to keep up. In your opinion, how the revolution is changing the landscape overall of fashion, but also how brands are using that technology to promote themselves?
So I think there's we've seen technology taking being more and more part of the fashion industry and being more relevant. we've seen artists like Frédéric Eyman, who's a Belgian artist and photographer who's been doing cover of magazines only using like 3D scans, like the cover he did with like Lady Gaga for Paper Magazine, or like he also did a campaign with like a 3D campaign with Naomi Campbell for Burberry, and recently all of the visuals for Beyonce's Renaissance tour. But also brands like Coperni, they're very known for incorporating technology into their collections. They've had like this coat that would warm up to the temperature of the body, or like this spray-on dress that they did live on Bella Hadid during one of their fashion shows, which was pretty incredible. And also, we've seen the rise and the fall of the metaverse fashion week. I think like it was maybe 1 or 2 years ago, everyone was talking about it, and all the brands starting to like get on it and wanted to be part of it. And it's we've never heard it. We've never heard about it after this. I mean, at least not that I know of. And also, I mean, there's many different like algorithms, for example. Algorithms are getting more and more important, not only in the fashion industry, like I think in everything we do in the world in general, but they're also used in fashion. We have this platform in France that's called Tagwalk, that's used internationally, and it was created by Alexandra Van Hout, who was a stylist assistant, and it references all of the runways, all of the runway collections by keywords. So you can look for a red dress, and it will come up with all of the red dresses that were made throughout all of the seasons all over the world. So it's very convenient when you're working on trends, or if you're a stylist and you want to pick up red dresses for your shoot. Those kind of things, and also like Google referencing and SEO, sorry, SEO, because like now like articles don't only come for print. You have to have them very well referenced on Google and on the search monitors. So all of these things come into are very important. I mean, they're taking a big place in the fashion industry. And about AI, I'm no expert, so I guess it's still quite new. So we'll see where it goes.
I think the interesting thing is, I remember when I started working 20 years ago, a lot of fashion brands were very hesitant to change. They were very much about the craftsmanship and the heritage and that thing. Nowadays, it's like a race. Whoever can get there first, whoever can get the latest innovation, they want to get the coolest, virtual magazine or implementing the latest technology. That shift has been interesting as well. And that comes to my next question about, because the magazine kind of had to lead the way for a lot of the brands to be able to do that. But then how do you balance the commercial interest of those brands, but also with the editorial integrity of the magazine?
It's been, I think it's been, and press in general has been working like this for about 30 years now. That like the brand supporting the magazines, and that helps the magazine going. So my job as a market editor is to cleverly combine business and editorial. So we put first and foremost our editorial freedom. This is key to us. So what I'll do is that brands will update me throughout the year with their new launches, pushes for the season. So I'm like always in permanent contact with all of the brands for fashion and jewelry. And then I will report this to the team. We will discuss it together. We will, like decide what is interesting to us, what is not, and how do we treat that information? Is it a print feature? Is it a news on the website? Is it a shoot? All of those conversations we're having together, and we're trying to be equal and make everyone happy, which is always a bit challenging, but in the end we manage. And but also, and and not only with the advertising brands, like I think our role as the fashion magazine that we are is obviously to promote and support younger brands. So we give them space as well as much as we can within the pages of the magazine. We always have like features at the beginning of the magazine, promoting those young designers, but also through the shoots that we make. And me personally, as the jewelry editor, I do profiles and interviews of young designers that I like and inspire me, and I think those kind of features for them can be a great opportunity and bring them bring them a lot of opportunities, I guess, especially when you're a young brand, and I think this is our role to promote this.
And nurture them for sure. Now, because we got a chance to talk to so many of them, any emerging trends that you see kind of shaping the future of fashion and jewelry?
So I think we've mentioned it before, but I think I would say the last couple of seasons we've seen the huge not a comeback because it's always been there, but like I think the interest there is in quiet luxury. We've seen brands like Bottega, Prada, Hermes, going back to the roots of like beautiful, well-crafted products, beautiful tailoring, long-lasting products, craftsmanship, savoir-faire, and something, like part of the conversation we were having earlier about longevity and the life of the products, not necessarily like imprisonated, is that a word?
Yeah.
Into an ephemeral trend, but more like timeless species that you just want to have and keep forever. So I think this is this is what fashion is leaning towards at the moment. And in terms of jewelry, I think it's a bit more tricky to say because there's so many different all of those houses. But I guess I would say there are the two biggest trends would probably be either minimalism, which, like most of the time is inspired by architecture, like clean lines, Art Deco, and on the opposite, maximalism, like figurative pieces, like incredible technique and savoir-faire that you're going to see in like other houses.
It's needless to say that the world has become very global, right? As you mentioned before, even the organization, the magazine, you all work together with office from all over the world. But nevertheless, there is still a culture and a heritage for being French. But how do you, cater to a diverse global audience that's looking at the magazine, but while maintaining the quintessential like French aesthetic?
I think just by being French.
What is like?
you
Just
know
give me an example, like.
No, I mean, like by trusting our tastes and vision, and probably by deconstructing the myth of the French woman. I think that's something that was really important to Eugénie when she was appointed at Vogue. You had this myth of la Parisienne, or like the French girl. Now we want to represent France exactly as it is. It's in its diversity, in all of its beauties, and the French woman now is many different French women actually, and we don't necessarily put forth women just because of their style or their beauty. We want to promote people that have something to say, a point of view, and I think that's what really matters to us. And so far, it's been resonating globally, and so very happy with this.
What has been one of your most exciting brand collaborations to date?
So we do us as, I mean, obviously Vogue collaborates with a lot of brands, but us also as editors, we collaborate with brands through Vogue. And recently I did a masterclass in the private apartment of Boucheron at 26 Place Vendôme, which is like the historical house of the brand. And first, well, it was very interesting because it was me together with director of the high jewelry atelier, and we explained all of the history behind the house, their designs. I think Boucheron, it's a brand that I really like because it's very innovative in everything they do. Now it's run by Claire Chouan, who's the creative director. She's amazing and very inspiring. And just to explain like the creative process, like how is it made, technique, secrets, all of the stuff, like in front of an audience. And I really enjoy doing this. And also, not only this, it was also like the whole point of the masterclass was how to wear jewelry and how to style it. So I had different models with me that I styled and put the jewelry on them and explaining to everyone, like that you can, wear jewelry very casually. Diamonds with jeans.
Diamonds with jeans. I like that. That's gonna be the title of the podcast. Diamonds with jeans. I like that. But it's also for people from outside the industry. Sometimes they can see fashion can be, or even jewelry market. Everything can be very a private club, very small. It's a select group of people that involve the insiders kind of thing. How important is the networking in this industry, and have you personally, your personal connections have influenced your career path?
So when I started as a PR, I don't know how long ago it was, but a very long time ago, I was very, very shy. And that was very problematic because the essence of being a PR is to, go towards people and talk to people and make connections. But I was forced to through this job, and actually helped me a lot because it was hard at the beginning, but then I made connections with people that are still my friends today. We're all studying, as young teenagers or young adults in the fashion industry, and I'm very proud to see where we all are now. And that includes Eugénie Trochu, she's the head of content of Vogue France, and I met her maybe like 11 years ago, and she was still an intern at Vogue France, at Vogue Paris at the time. And we became very close friends quite rapidly.
Yeah.
And our friendship has been maintained through the years, and she was the one to think of me for the job. Not out of friendship, obviously, because she knew my work ethic and she knew I worked really hard. And when I got that call, I was working for Antidote at the moment as the head of communications, events, and special project, which is an independent magazine. I really enjoyed my time there. So I was really happy in that position. And then she called me one day and she told me that she wanted to meet me the next day and she could tell me anything about it. And I had no idea there was a position open in the company. And not only that, I think the only position I would have been interested in is the one that I have right now at the moment. And I knew there was someone at that position at the time. So I had no idea what she wanted to see me. And then she offered me that job. And I was, because I have the person before me was leaving for another job. So she didn't fire anyone to get me in.
There's some drama.
Just to be clear.
Yeah,
just to be clear. It's just that it hadn't been announced yet. So anyways, I was pleasantly surprised because that was the one job that I really wanted because it was in direct link with all the experiences that I had in my previous lives, including like working at Le Bon Marché, for example, which is a luxury department store owned by LVMH. And it's funny because when you think about the way those stores works, it's actually very similar to a magazine. You have the fashion director, the creative director, the buyers that make the deal with the brands. We also get to work with all of the brands. Like I used to be a PR for younger designers for brands like Coperni or Atline, but now you get to work with all of those brands at the same time. So you make connections with like Dior or Chanel or Louis Vuitton or whatever, working hand in hand with the PRs and like common events or projects. And that was very interesting because, not knowing at the time, I think I was actually being trained for the position that I have right now. So yeah, I don't know, what was the question again? I think
Now
I
you
got a
got it.
little, I got a
Yeah.
little carried away.
No, but this is great. Being able to share some personal stories as well, and I think this is what it's about. Like getting to know. It is a very small circle. It's a big industry, a multi-billion-dollar industry, but it's a very small circle. There's a lot of
No, it
crossover,
is.
and you kind of doesn't matter what aspect in the business you're in, you kind of engaging with people in some capacity. So that's fascinating. And then
Absolutely. And
obviously you start developing relationships and friendships that grow to become, great things. And I think that's part of the any industry, even the creative industry, they have an opportunity to share more personal connections and understand people a little bit deeper because they're pouring their soul on their work, and to be in a magazine that has access to almost any creator in the world and being able to build a platform for them should be incredibly rewarding. So I'll applaud you, the magazine, everybody else for that. Bravo.
thank you so much.
Yeah. Now I want to talk about more personal stuff, though. I want to see
Okay, good.
like you're out of work right now. Let's say it's Friday night. You're done. Not doing any more work related things. What's a perfect weekend look like for you
I mean, this weekend or in general?
in general?
Okay, because I was gonna say I'm gonna go back home and work. So not an exciting Friday night for me, unfortunately. But most of the time, I would say like just hang out with my friends. Tomorrow, I'm really excited to like hang out with. We're doing the Christmas dinner with people from the team because not only Eugenie, but that's what I love about working for this magazine is that I get to work with all of my friends like Jade Simon, who's the editorial director of Vogue, but also the lifestyle editor. She's like one of my close friends. Hugo Compin, he's the social media editor and video editor for the magazine. He's been one of my best friends for 10 years as well. And we all get to work together, and it's really cool. Like there's this girl Winter also that I love. She's the entertainment director, meaning that she books all of the celebrities for the pages of all of Condé Nast titles in France. And basically, we're doing a Christmas dinner together tomorrow. So I'm really excited about that. So anything that's related to just like hang out with my friends and having a good time and not think of work and just doing fun things.
So if I were to come into this dinner and I ask
Yeah.
everybody to tell me one thing, describe you with one
Oh
word,
God.
what do you think they would say?
Oh God, I don't know. I hope good things. Probably that I'm fun.
Mhm.
That I like to have a good time. I like to laugh. I like to make people laugh. I like to not take things too seriously. Um, that I'm also very compassionate about people in general. I do believe that our actions have consequences, and I wouldn't do to anyone what I wouldn't want anyone to do to me. And yeah, and what else? Yeah, that I can be silly and but also I can work very hard. I'm like many different things in one person.
Do you have a secret talent?
I can sing and dance.
You can sing and dance.
Yeah.
All right, so let's do this. I'm not going to ask you to sing and dance right now,
No, not
unless if you
now.
want
Not
to. But
now.
I'm not going to stop you. But like, if what's your to go? What's your to go song to sing and
Oh
dance?
no.
Like,
Well, I mean, I don't sing and dance professionally. I just sing and dance to have fun.
I know,
You
but like,
know.
let's say we go out and we're gonna to karaoke, and then it's like, this is
Okay.
this is my song. This is the one I'm gonna rock tonight.
Okay. Well, last time I went to karaoke, it was definitely not a song that I should have picked. I don't know why. I felt it in the moment. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that song. It's great, but I had never tried it before, and I sang. I sang My Prerogative by Britney Spears, and it was a disaster. I didn't realize how hard the song was. I thought it was like an easy one to do, and I was so embarrassed that I left the stage. So that's not my go-to song. I don't know what are my go-to songs. Actually, I don't really do karaoke that often. I just like always sing. I always sing. It's just like, even at the office, sometimes I have to like try to shut up because if it was just me, I would sing all day.
So, what are you listening right now? That
What am I?
you having? Yeah, you singing throughout the office this week.
Nah, I guess like Nicki Minaj new album. It's
Yeah.
really cool.
What never fails to make you laugh?
Uh, uh, Probably my best friend Thomas. We have this way of communicating and making up words that don't exist that make us both laugh very much.
Two Thomas in a room. That sounds like
Yeah, to
trouble.
Thomas in the room. Yeah,
That sounds like trouble. What is something that you wish you were better at?
better at
Yeah.
probably probably less caring about what other people think.
I know a lot of people that could, use that skill as well. I guess we all could, have a little bit of a f that attitude every once in a
Yeah,
while.
exactly.
Thomas, we are this part of the show that I ask the same questions for everybody since we started, and is for you to recommend us three things. So a book can be your favorite book ever, or something that you're reading right now or read recently.
Mhm.
A movie or TV show. Again, favorite or something recent. And who do you think we should invite to be here as a guest in upcoming episodes?
So let's start with a book. I would say The Little Prince by Antoine de Saint-Exupéry, because my mother used to read it to me a lot when I was younger, and I think now looking at it with like adult eyes, I think the values of this tale are very current and very, yeah, it's like about like accepting yourself, like tolerating differences, having your own truth, all of those things that just make so much sense today. And you would think it's a book for kids, but when you have like a second reading of the book, I really enjoy that book.
Great. What about a movie or a TV show?
So movie or TV show, I would probably say like one that I saw recently that I remember, because like I normally never rewatch a movie because I'm bored the second time, even though I love the movie. So I don't have like a go-to movie that I watch all the time or that I make my friends watch. There's one movie that I saw recently that I really enjoy. It was like Ari Aster's movie that's called Beau is Afraid with Joaquin Phoenix, and
Hmm.
it's a horror tragicomedy following the life of a guy named Beau who's a bit paranoid, and he's on a odyssey to find his mom. No, sorry, to go to his mom's funeral. Um, and that's completely fucked up, but in a good way. And Joaquin Phoenix is incredible in that movie.
And I guess who should we have here next?
I would say Jade Simon.
Okay.
Jade Simon, who I mentioned earlier, who's the editorial director of Vogue and also our lifestyle editor, and she's a specialist in the best dresses in Paris, but also all around the world. If you go on Vogue.fr, if you're looking for a restaurant, a bar, a hotel, go to her section. Like she has the best taste and best tips for all of those things, and she's also super smart and fun, and she's taking over while together with Sylvia Jorif, she's taking over while Eugénie is on maternity leave,
Hmm.
um, and she's doing an amazing job.
That's exciting. Oh, terrific. Last thing, you have the opportunity to go back in time and meet that little Thomas that bought Vogue for the first time back in Bordeaux. What
Yes,
would you tell him?
I would tell him that probably I would tell him that anything is possible if you set your mind to it and if you work hard enough. And probably I would tell him to have confidence and that it will work out.
You will work out.
It will, yeah.
I like it. Thomas, thank you so much for taking the
Thank
time. It's
you.
been unbelievable to get to know a little bit more and hear about your experience and your story. I'll be in Paris in a couple of weeks. Maybe we can do this in
Great.
person.
Yes, of
You know,
course. Yeah.
I
Please
won't I
come
won't
see
do
us at the Vogue.
karaoke. I won't do
No,
karaoke.
no, no.
I'll save you. I'll save you from that. But we can
No,
definitely.
yeah. I don't want to embarrass myself once again. But but yes, please come see us at the office or anywhere
Excellent.
else. We're near Palais Royal now. We just moved, so it's very central.
Excellent. Now, how people who are listening to us, how they can follow you, engage with you. Tell me a little bit where people can find you.
Um, on my Instagram, I guess it's called Thomas Delage with like underscore.
Okay.
Um, that's my name with underscore, and then that's it. And just go check out the Vogue.fr website. It's amazing, and buy the magazine.
That's
And check
right.
out our Instagram. We just reached 10 million followers. We're number 2 after American Vogue, and we're super proud of it.
That's exciting. All right, Thomas, thanks again. I really appreciate it. Have a wonderful time.